I'm sorry. So weird.
Lesbians forever. We're just talking about like, these
it's
two.
weird. Yeah,
it's
because
weird. It's
Jodi
just
is
fucking
just
weird. She's fucking weird.
weird.
This is where I get frustrated.
Don't even open that can of worms.
Like horrifying.
Horrifying. Not allowed to cry or have emotions in your house?
Like, do you really need to know what Zemoglophical 8 is? Or
Oh, Jessica.
everyone has a favorite. Everyone does. All right, so today we're going to talk about the hot topic of Sharenting and Ruby Franke, who was just, I think she was recently convicted of child abuse along with Jodi Hildebrandt or whatever her name is.
Jodi.
What'd I say, Hildy?
I think you said Hodi. Whatever.
Jodi.
We know what you meant.
HJ. For 30 years. Anyways, there's this great, it's terrible, but very informative documentary on Hulu about the rise of her Sharenting experience. She started out with a YouTube platform about happy family and whatever, and it took a dark turn into religious extremism, parenting class, just all sort of wild fucking shit. And exposing she has 6 kids, all 6 were on them. One of them got annoyed with it and whatever. Anyways, everyone go watch that. But it was 2015 when she started, and so that I feel she was kind of the pillar of whatever when Sharenting started.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. She was she had risen to the highest level at that point of the Sharenting world.
Yeah. Right.
But then the ending was just so tragic and awful.
Yeah.
And she ended up abusing her kids and being put in jail. So.
Yeah. And she used when we say Sharenting, sharing your kids on the internet.
Yes.
And her intent was external validation for herself. It had she was using her kids as lures to get validation from the world.
Correct.
So that's one way that Sharenting's bad.
Yep.
So who is Ruby Franke? She was a mom. I guess she is a mom. She's not dead. Mom of 6, married, was in 2015, started this YouTube channel with her family called 8 Passengers. And it was documenting the family's life. And she was a member of Church of Latter-day Saints, Utah. Mm-hmm. That's the main.
Yeah. Hub, or whatever.
Yeah, there. Mm-hmm. And her, it seemed so the Church of Latter-day Saints, the mantra is always striving for perfection.
Right.
That is the ultimate goal, whatever. And so her channel at that time, 8 Passengers, was kind of this perception of the perfect family.
Yeah.
And the perfect mom, and she was really motivated by validation of viewers. So she felt whole or whatever when she would get any comment that was oh my God, I wish I were you. Your family is so great, or whatever. Right. She was very motivated by this not peer, but
external validation.
Yes, external validation. Correct. Yes. Okay. So very Christ-centered family page, and then it turned into a parenting page later. The Ruby's she quantified or qualified love is obedience. So following directions, kind of knowing exactly what was expected without telling them what was expected. So if she was filming something and her 3-year-old climbed on the table, she would yell at the 3-year-old and say, "I'm filming. How are you doing this? I'm filming." And obviously a 3-year-old doesn't understand that concept.
Right.
Okay. So her channel, they got a lot of money. They were making $100,000 a month at one point. The kids were the employees. They were getting, I don't know how much money they were getting from it, but whatever. So she made it into the successful monetized brand, and then they moved to an affluent neighborhood where she was very, she isolated herself. Everything was the phone, everything was a recording.
Yeah.
Or she would find anything to make it an opportunity to film.
Yep.
Yeah. So all of her kids were on it. Her husband was on it. He was bought in. And hold on, let me turn. Yeah. Okay. So by 2018, so they were already in this affluent neighborhood, all of that stuff, she began to think that she was like put on this earth to do something bigger. Like God sent her here to do this, to do like some bigger second coming, whatever thing. Yeah. And she was really connected to higher, what are they called? Higher ranking members of the church. Mm-hmm. And so at this point, like she was doing great things for the church, like a lot. She was getting people to become members.
Right. Recruiting.
Yeah. Thank you. Recruiting. Exactly. Okay. So she had this persona on film that she's like full face, but not like too full face. And like hair done, but not too done. Like happy family, but like, haha, you know, like just this very perfect balance of like, we're silly and playful and he gets in trouble, but it's like happy, you know? Yeah. When in the background, I mean, it was like she would shove her toddler. So we just watched this the documentary. It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
She would like cover her toddler's mouth when she was filming because like the toddler was like being silly. She got into this mentality that the moment you disobey me, you're going to fear me. And then Chad, the oldest, he's the oldest kid, huh?
I think the girl was the oldest Sherry. And he's the second one. Yeah.
Yeah. Second oldest, first boy. First boy. Yeah. He got to be whatever, adolescent age, and he was over the filming. He didn't like it. It was invasive.
Yeah.
He felt like he always had to perform and match the expectation of the persona that Ruby held for him.
Right.
And like it got to the point where she told him to fake being, like, you need to fake being happy. This is your job. This is the family's job. And like, then she started like, or I think, I mean, from what I could tell, it was like the abuse, I don't know why I'm quoting, it's abuse. Abuse got more frequent and more intense as time went on.
Yes, as he got older. Yeah.
As he got older, right. Like but Sherry, what's her name? That's her name.
Sherry.
Yeah. I don't think she got.
No.
It
doesn't sound like it.
It doesn't sound like it. They didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
But he went from like yelling, negotiating, pleading, beyond it, be fake happy, whatever, why are you doing this? To like, now we're whipped with a belt. Now we're like beating him up. Like his sister helped him clean his own blood off the walls. Yeah. All that stuff, like really wild shit. Anyways, okay. So it became, at like this point, the channel was more important to Ruby than anything else, you know? Right. Okay. So Chad started to have behavioral issues at school. They didn't really go into exactly what he was doing, but it was like, I don't know. I guess he was like fighting maybe.
I don't know. I don't know.
You didn't get this?
No, I did. I finished it, but I don't remember like what was the behavior problem.
Like he got suspended. I think he got expelled, and it got to the point where like, hold on, you sip. He was like, suspended and expelled from school, like defiance at home, whatever. Some person in the church gave Jodi Hildebrandt, gave Ruby Jodi Hildebrandt's information, who was a therapist. Okay, she's not, but
she like, was in the past at some point.
Yeah, she got a license revoked because she cray. Anyways, but she figured out how to like work people, and like cheat the system or whatever, and made a name for herself as being like this parenting expert, family expert, relationship expert as it relates to like marriage and whatever. Mm-hmm. She was also very female driven, like very like females are always being deceived and manipulated by men. Right, like that was her. I mean, she didn't say it outright, but that is what it was her message. Correct. Yeah. Okay. So Chad started to see Jodi, didn't like it at first, but then he kind of started liking her, like bought into all of her bullshit and whatever. And it started working. The defiance went down. He started like behaving and following directions and participating in whatever. So then Jodi and Ruby started to become, Jodi was just like feeding into this God complex of Ruby and saying like, you are here to be somebody, like to influence the world. The world is changing and it's because of you. So she was just like reinforcing this like out of touch representation, of who she thinks she is or why she's doing what she's doing. Okay, so her 8 passengers turns into it's Jodi's is connections.
With an X.
With an X. In 2022. And they created this account called Moms of Truth, and that's when they started offering parenting classes. Okay, so this was, let me make sure, hold on. Just want to like give, yep. So this was like 2020. Oh yeah. Okay, Jodi was doing like men's groups at this point. And it was also virtual.
Fucking ridiculous.
Because it was COVID, that's why, March 2020. Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was really weird. So 2020 March, COVID, it was like BLM, there was other shit going on. Oh, there was an earthquake somewhere, random, whatever. A lot of shit was going on. The world was on fire. We all remember.
Yeah.
Jodi, like, somehow convinced, brainwashed, whatever, reinforced Ruby's thought of like, this is it. This is the second coming.
Yeah.
The world is ending. And we are now, what is it called when you like prep? Like, what is that called?
Oh, doomsday.
Yeah,
prepping.
Doomsday prepping. Yeah. So like now they have, doing all that shit because they're going to survive and they're going to.
Right. And they're like the righteous ones. And
Correct.
They will go forward to the kingdom of heaven.
That is right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so Chad at this point was like bought in, he's good. And like Ruby like went from this idea of like family connection and community to dominance.
Yeah.
Is what I would say.
Yeah.
It was like a very drastic swing from like, I don't know, like, what am I trying to say? Like respect and love and engaging and whatever to this like control,
like
power,
dictatorship.
Yep. And like on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, what all of her social media outlets, she was like telling parents not to let their child control and dictate what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so like she took that to a really drastic place. Like if you didn't follow directions on everything, like tie your shoe, go get breakfast, anything, then you like there's something wrong.
Right.
Like there's something
like
wrong.
Evil.
There's evil
demons.
Yeah, the devil's in there. Okay. So 2020 was when like numerous people in the neighborhood signed this petition or whatever to like asking Child Protective Services to investigate the Franke family. Cherie was like off at college at this point. She was gone.
I don't even remember this part. Okay, continue. I don't remember this part.
Yep. So, and then Franke shared videos explain. Oh yeah. So Chad, God, what did he do? He did some shit. He did something. I can't remember what he did. But she didn't let him sleep in the bedroom. So he had to go sleep in the basement.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
On a beanbag. Well, he chose, on the beanbag for like months, like 6-7 months.
Yeah.
And they caught, it was like Cherie, Chad, Ruby, like at the table. And I guess Kevin the dad was filming. And she was like, hee, I don't think the viewers know that. Hee. And the viewers saw it. And so that was kind of like the triggering event of like when the viewers and the population start.
Yeah. Yep.
So her lawyer suggested for her to make a public apology. She did not because she said, nope, I'm saving my family. I will not apologize for that. And so then she originally went from the place of I'm showing you like a wholesome Christian family values, all that stuff, happy, cute, whatever, to I am showing the world what real parenting looks like and how difficult it is to make impossibly tough decisions because you love a child. So now, like, love, it's like that love equals complete obedience.
Yeah.
Was how she qualified like a good Christian family.
Right.
So very extreme swing to the other direction. Okay, so Kevin, dad, Chad, older son. Chad wasn't ordered to leave. Kevin was ordered to leave.
Yeah.
Chad, he just left. I can't fucking remember. But
I don't remember.
Whatever. He was out of the home.
Yeah.
Cherie, she was banned too.
No, I think Chad was forced to leave. Didn't they kick him out?
Yeah, but like he was still like he talked to Jodi Like, he was still bought into all that stuff.
Yeah. But I think they kicked him out of the house, didn't they? They asked him to leave the house. Yes, they did. They did.
You're right, they did.
Yeah.
Okay, so all those three were ordered to leave the family.
Yeah.
Cherie, one of the neighbors, like, reached out to Cherie to say, like, hey, there's some weird shit, like, the younger kids. Like, y'all, like, Cherie tried to get DCFS to go in. There wasn't enough evidence, whatever. So this, like Ruby went from, I mean, like, I would say, like, incongruent, or like, what's the word? Like, she needed more validation than the average Jessica.
Disproportionate.
You know? Yes. Disproportionate to, like, age and development, I guess. That's where she started. And now she's like, it's so funny because we just did Munchausen's. That's not what this is. But, like, when Jodi, so the therapist crazy second coming girl is now living with Ruby because Jodi is possessed. She's seeing ghosts with hats on, or whatever, demons, pardon me, with hats on in her house. So she moved in, and Kevin is the devil, and, like, she is, like, convincing Ruby that he's manipulating her and not doing what's right with God and all of this stuff. So that's why Kevin got kicked out.
Wait, and now that I'm remembering, I think that's why Chad got kicked out too. Remember they said, like, he was bringing in these, like, bad things happening at the house. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
I think it was both of them.
Yeah. Continue, no, but Kevin was kicked out because Jodi convinced Ruby that Kevin's, like, questioning or, like, displeasure with Jodi taking his wife away. Ruby was sleeping in the room with Jodi,
which is so fucking weird.
There was some stuff. I mean, because there were, like, candles and oil. Anyways,
I'm sorry, so weird.
Lesbians forever. We're just talking about, like, these two.
It's weird. Yeah,
because it's weird. It's
Jodi
just fucking weird. She's fucking weird.
Weird.
But Chad was, like, bringing in demons, like, consciously or unconsciously. Kevin was, in their mind, consciously trying to, like, demonize whatever.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
So Jodi living in the house. So now they're in there together. It's the four younger kids at this point. Two of them were older, like the youngest were, like, young school age.
Right.
The older one's, like, middle school or something.
Yeah, looked like kind of tween age. Maybe.
Yeah, correct. Then it got into this, like, I mean, Kevin did not speak to his kids for a year. He was still
so crazy.
It's crazy, but he was still, like, he believed that he was an issue, and he had this, like, still does, has this like, not even unconditional, I'm sorry the word, but, like, obsessive, like, incongruent, like, his perception of his wife is diluted.
Oh, for sure.
Like, he's still in love with her. Like, at the end of the documentary, he's like, I still love her.
Like, I want her back. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he was brainwashed until the very end. So was Chad.
Yeah.
Like, both of them. They were, like, so consumed with this really, like, poisonous theological, like, whatever. Like,
this narrative.
Yes. Okay. That they were brainwashed until the end. So how it ends is...
Sorry for all the spoiler alerts, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you should have watched. Like, sorry. Don't care. So she got caught ultimately because she was, like, severely abusing the two youngest. And they were both at Jodi's house. Okay. So anyways, they're arrested 30 years. So Ruby wasn't the first or be all end all of, like, sharenting. So sharenting is, like, just showing your kids on the internet. Right. In whatever capacity or form. YouTube, Instagram, whatever. And so she was like it was like the what is it called when, like, you're showing something but that's not the real thing?
Smoke and mirrors?
Yeah, but, like, no, but, like, you're making it look, I don't know. Isn't there, like, a term?
Deceiving? I mean, it's deceiving.
Yeah, deceiving, I guess. Yeah. Like, this, like, I don't know that any other, like, like, mom influencer, like, or whatever had deceived or got caught deceiving the public.
Yeah.
Before.
Especially to this degree.
Especially to this degree. And, like, getting away with it. Yeah. So she was kind of the first, she is the first one where this has happened. Yeah. And so 2015, YouTube, I feel like that tracks. She was doing these, like, short, like, 8 minutes, whatever, of her, like, family. And so That's, I guess, like when Sharenting like started.
Yeah.
Or like that phenomenon. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, sharing photos, videos, other personal details about their children on social media. And like, this is what she did. It was just like innocuous things, like funny moments, like she did a thing on potty training.
Yeah.
And whatever. But like the issues were and are, it's like, lack of consent from the kids, data collection and tracking, like they all track your shit.
Yep.
Potential for harm. And like, within like this, like emotional abuse that turned into physical abuse harm, but like also harm from like whoever's looking at your shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So, and that can also, I want to say, like, when Ruby, like the validation that she got in the beginning was reinforcing and probably increasing the quality or enhancing the quality, increasing the quantity of content.
Yes.
That she was making.
Yep.
And the moment that some viewer disagreed or had a different opinion or like said that that wasn't right.
Yeah.
Instead of going inward and like reflecting and questioning and she went to the opposite way. Right. And she like stuck her heels in the ground.
Yeah.
And so if someone is constantly I don't know why I keep thinking Munchausen's by proxy. It's not that, but it's like it's similar functions though of behavior. Attention seeking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And like if you're an external validation and stuff, like when a parent is putting their family, kids, themselves, whatever, on social media to get validated.
Yes.
Then the moment that you don't, it's either gonna, they're not gonna be like, let me reflect on that. Yeah. They are gonna go the other way and dig their heels in the ground.
Yes.
Which is what happened here. So the potential for harm within that, like, social media profile, whoever that family is, increases. Okay. Impact on children's autonomy, Chad. Yeah. I mean, that's Chad.
Yeah.
Long-term consequences. Watch the
jail for 30 years.
Right. And then parental motivations. So this is exactly right. Research suggests that parents may share content to create a digital identity as a good parent, validate their role as a parent, or connect with other parents. And by connecting, in this case, it was to like she didn't like connect with other parents. It was like, I don't know, what's the word? Like putting, using her platform to like create a community.
Yeah.
And create a community who like praised her.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to get back to Sharenting, but I think that Ruby was stuck in like Erickson's stage of development.
Okay. Which one?
So you know how to like write it down. Between 4 and 5. Okay. So 4, school age, 6 to 11 years old. It's industry versus inferiority.
Right.
So like, at that time, that age, it's school age, they develop a sense of competence and industry, like, can I accomplish something? Can I do it on my own? Autonomy, all that stuff. Or do they feel inferior or inadequate, like I can't do it, or like I need help or whatever? I think she's stuck between that. And then adolescence, 12 to 18, identity versus role confusion.
Right.
Which is like that, we already talked about this, but like, where do I fit in society or into my little world? What are my values? Like, how do I experience confusion and uncertainty? And so it like, she just looks like that.
Yeah.
Like and like, even when she has her like on camera face, like tone of voice, volume of voice, rate of speech, facial expressions.
Yeah.
And then when Kevin's filming, but does it because they never stop which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like they never stop it. So like when shit goes awry, it's all on like, are you fucking stupid?
And like they're able to get all of that after the fact when she gets arrested.
Fucking stupid. Anyway, so it keeps filming and she goes from like, God, my kids, it's just hard when they're 12. And then one of them fucks up and she's like, Chad, you know what I mean? She turns into this like whiny teenager.
Yeah.
Like pleading and like, like it's just weird.
Yeah.
It's like she like regresses so much. And the fact that that Jodi, like that external validation was so impactful and influential for her to completely change everything about herself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like she's at whatever age she is going through this like identity confusion. Like, who am I? What? No?
No, I agree with you. I think that it's like partially where she is in development, but I also kind of wonder if, I'll say it like this. If someone like Ruby Franke who experienced that might have like obsessive compulsive personality disorder.
Oh, interesting. Why? Wait.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, tell them what it is. Okay.
Let me get like the official definition up because
it's
a lot of people
OCD.
It's not OCD. It's not OCD, and people kind of confuse that.
Yeah.
This is a disorder, a personality disorder that like a lot of professionals have. So like, there's a very high rate in physicians. There's a very high rate in attorneys. Because it's like
I'm married to one.
Perfectionism, you know, basically that's what it is. So, okay. So the official criteria, let me read them to you. Hold on.
I'll just like chat.
I'm getting it. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
So, so like Jodi was so able to brainwash what?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, go.
Okay. Preoccupation with details, rules, lists, order, organization, schedules, to the extent that the major point of the activity is lost. Shows perfectionism that interferes with task completion. So that's like people who, like if you are so perfectionist about your handwriting and then so you're erasing and rewriting something 15 times.
So you can't complete the task.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Is excessively devoted to work and productivity to the exclusion of leisure activities and friendships. So she definitely got, like, if you think about the vlogging as her job, she did that, right?
Yeah. Right? It wasn't perfect and
Yeah.
Okay.
And she like completely isolated herself from her community, right?
Yep.
Is overconscientious in matters of morality, ethics, and values.
What do you, okay. Tease that out.
So, very like to the letter about, like religious moral values, right? Okay, so she's like reading things like to the letter, and she's so black and white about it, and like
literal.
not seeing the gray, right?
Very little. Okay.
Is unwilling to throw out. This is stupid. I'm not even going to say that one. Reluctant to delegate tasks or work with other people unless others submit to exactly their way of doing things.
Yeah,
for sure. Adopts, this is kind of funny. I don't think this applies to her. Adopts a miserly spending style. So just like being overly frugal with money. Demonstrates rigidity and stubbornness.
I mean, I think she more than that.
She is, but I think she's a really extreme version of that.
You think that more than like borderline or something?
Maybe borderline. I don't know. Because it didn't seem like, they interviewed some of her like friends that had been friends with her a really long time, and it didn't seem like she was that volatile in like those relationships, right? Yeah. To me, it seems much more like she's like super rigid and she like is completely inflexible in her beliefs, right?
But was that before Jodi or after Jodi?
I think she was probably always like that.
Yeah.
But then Jodi really fed into that, right? So Jodi obviously knew how to like manipulate the F out of people,
she totally did. But like, whatever. I mean, Latter-day Saints, it's very black and white. It's very black and white.
Yep.
Okay, so the religion is if you are not righteous, then there's no place for you in heaven. So if you have, that's what I didn't like. I'm not like making that up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So it turned into this extreme idea that perfectionism and 100% exact obedience is the only way to be righteous. If you display anything that is not in line with this, then there is a demon inside of you, and doing extreme, painful things is the way to eliminate it. E.g., putting the like youngest son or whatever, she made him stay in the sun all day and would poke him with the cactus. Because, who knows? Because he didn't like say yes or something. And I wonder if you're somebody who's really susceptible to just to anything external, like if I was about to research her parents and I just ran out of time. But because they started their own YouTube, grandma and grandpa, like during the same time.
Who?
Her parents.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I just started to get
similar?
into it. It was like the grandparent perspective on their family. So like,
was it like supportive of her or was it like criticizing her?
I don't think it was like either. I think it was like separate. Just like, this is what it's like to be a grandparent or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I think. Okay. Don't quote me. We'll do a follow-up on the parents.
Okay.
But if she so clearly she's coming from a family who like both of them want external validation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if she is raised in a house, or if people are raised in a house where the only way you can like define if you're good enough is by someone telling you are, and you are living in a religious community that doubles down on that, and like to an extreme, then I feel like you're more susceptible to like becoming a personality type like that.
Yeah, I could see that. And if you just like are. Like, yeah, so she's probably like a perfect storm of things, right? Where it's like there's this like family influence, there's this religious influence, and then maybe she just like has, for whatever reason, genetic predisposition mixed with her nurturing has developed this like perfectionism.
Yeah, and then her husband is just like he
enabled it. I mean,
that's what it is. Yeah, enabled it, and he was brainwashed too. Anyway, so as it relates to sharenting, I think like that. Like, it's not, like, that is not the definition of sharenting, what she did. I mean, it's a version, I guess.
But it's like the most extreme, most horrendous.
Yeah. Like, I feel like this is going to come out, or this came out, and like, I don't think because you, like, share a story of your kid doing something dumb or cute or whatever, like leads to all of these
you being
pitfalls.
Like a child abuser and end up in prison.
You know, gonna like have long-term effects.
Right.
I mean, I don't. What do you think? Because we did like
no, I agree with you. I mean, this is like a spectrum, right? Like just because you post a video of your kid doesn't mean you're gonna end up abusing them and end up in jail for 30 years. But I do think that parents need to be aware of like what are all of those potential consequences of sharing videos, pictures of your kids online, right? Like it's not, I think parents need to be aware that it's not 100% like innocent, wholesome outcome there, you know? Like part of it is that like your kids can't consent, right? Because they're too young. They're not able to consent until they're whatever age, 18, I guess. Part of it is like the data collect, the digital footprint kind of thing, okay? Which like you're creating a digital footprint for your kid without their permission, right? Part of it is like what kind of people are seeing it. You have no control over that,
well,
right?
If your profile's private.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, that's like not 100% foolproof, you know? I mean, it's true.
I know. Lauren doesn't post not a damn.
I don't.
I'm surprised you haven't deleted it. Like deleted all of your shit on your...
I know. I want to, but the problem is that it's all connected with little brains. I can't really.
No, I mean like delete all the pictures.
Photos. I've deleted most of them.
Yeah.
I deleted a lot of them.
Yeah.
And like I before I started doing talks at schools and then hearing like my friend Mariana who does the talks with me, like hearing her perspective, and she has worked in social media since it was born. And like works on the algorithms and shit. So she knows all the dirty inside stuff. So prior to me knowing her perspective on things, I was doing it what everybody else is doing. I was posting when my kids are born, their full name, where they're born, how much they weighed, all that shit. Like, this is where they go to school, blah, 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 blah. And then once I got her spiel on it, I was like, oh shit. Okay. And so then I started to peel back a little bit. Also, it was like, I can't sit up here and tell parents what to do and then not do it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously like I'm like a Nazi about it.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be a Nazi about it. You don't have to be as psycho as I am. Yeah. I think it's just like knowing that there are consequences of it. You know?
I guess. I mean, listen, because I'm like devil's advocate all the time. Like you don't have they can't give consent for you to take a picture of them. So, like, what's the difference? I mean, I know because, like, access and data collection and whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, what I'm just going to knock on now. I'm going to be OCD and whatever. Like, what are the chances that something bad happens to them because you post a story?
I don't know.
You do the talks, don't it? And not
There's
like
how do you find a statistic for that?
Oh, I don't know. I thought that would be like part of it. Well, then
No.
why is it bad? Why does it matter?
Because something bad can happen.
Well, something bad can happen when you walk out of the door every day.
Correct, but that's not what I give speeches about, right?
Well, I know, but like what is the like risk or difference in like level of risk, I guess.
Okay, so just think about it this way. Think about this. Like, what are the rates of kids getting approached by a predator online? It's scary high.
Where?
It's like extremely high.
Is it like on a certain platform?
No.
Okay.
No, it's very high. It's like I can't remember what the
But that's like that's someone who has access to a phone though, and you know what I mean?
I know, but like, okay,
that's older.
So part of it is that, but then part of it is like, you know, they have all these like accounts, like those like deep fake things, you know, where they like take. I didn't even know about this. They take pictures of some random person's kids and post it on their profile, and then they computerize things and make things look different. Like, I mean, you know, so like I could tell you there's a very good chance that has happened to you or someone you know. Mm. Okay. And a lot of times, like, you're never going to know, but that's your kid. Like, that's their face out there on whatever, you know?
How do you know it's happened?
I don't know. I mean, I think that obviously these accounts have been found out because we know they exist, but like, I don't know if there's a way for you. Like, I don't know if each person has the technology to find out if their kid's face has been used for something else, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's something that like authorities can do, but I don't think we as people can do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that I want to like fearmonger people, but it all goes back to like what I talk about all the time is like people just need to be aware. You gotta be aware that this happens, that this is possible, you know? So, and that like you are creating a digital identity for your kid. And like, we don't know if it's going to be used in the future. It might not.
Like, what is it going to be used for?
I don't know. I mean, you think like, okay. I mean, I'm really going down a rabbit hole here. I'm sorry, y'all, but like, can't help it.
Don't apologize. This is your thing.
Here we
like,
go.
Own it.
Here we go. Okay. I have had kids who, were bullied about, you know, kids get bullied about anything, but bullied about things that their parents had posted about them when they were little. Okay. So like a middle schooler, right, is get bullied about whatever embarrassing video his mom posted of him when he was 5. Okay.
Okay.
So that's like one thing. And then older kids, like older high school, almost college age, whatever, it's not uncommon for them to try to like weaponize whatever content from someone's childhood against them. Okay. Which like most people are posting kind of innocuous things and innocent things, but you just have to think about that like once you put it on the internet, it's out of your control. Mm-hmm. It is out of your hands. It doesn't matter if your profile is private, because guess what? You post something on Instagram, you don't own it. Instagram owns it.
Yeah.
They own it. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's true.
I know it's true.
And like most likely nothing will happen. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that something won't happen, you know? I don't know. Yeah. I know I sound like conspiracy, crazy, fear-mongering, but it's true, you know? I mean, okay, so another thing that she said that I thought was really interesting. She was like—
Who's she?
Mariana. Yeah. I'm sorry. Mariana, who I do these talks with. My friend Mariana. Not Ruby. I don't talk. Ruby and I don't speak anymore.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, say like you post a picture of your kid, they had pneumonia and they were in the hospital. Okay. And then she's like, who's to say that one day someone cannot use that information?
What do you mean?
Like, so she's like, okay, what if this social media company, say it's Instagram, all right, one day starts to go under, and then they're getting really desperate and they're trying to save themselves and monetize whatever they can. And she was like, the most valuable thing on the planet now is data. That is the most valuable thing is personal data. Okay. And so she's like, who's to say that they can't sell that data to an insurance company? Right?
I don't get it. Why would an insurance company want a picture of a
because
kid
it's
with pneumonia?
A pre-existing condition and then they can deny you. Right?
Pneumonia?
I mean, this sounds crazy. It sounds crazy.
It doesn't sound, it sounds possible, but it sounds real low risk. Like of that happening.
Sure.
And like, what do you think you're special? They're going to get your kid from fucking auctioner?
I don't know. It's just, I think the moral of the story, the moral of the story is that the likelihood that anything's going to happen is low.
No, not anything. Right? Not anything.
The likelihood that something seriously bad is going to happen is low.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that something bad can't happen.
No, correct. Yeah.
And once you put it out there, you can't prevent it.
And I guess you increase the risk of
increase the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think like I worry less about that part because I agree with you that it's like a stretch.
Yeah.
It's more, to me, it's more like your kids don't have you're not getting their consent to share this with the world. Because they can't consent.
Well, they can't consent to shit before they're 18.
I know, but you're not blasting it on the internet to the whole world.
I'm not blasting it to the whole world.
All right.
I mean, I guess I kind of did. They all put them from LBC since that is open. I mean, consent. All right, whatever. Yeah, you respect your kids more than I do.
Well, it's just like like 20 years from now, are your kids gonna be like
embarrassed?
Or just be like, Mom, like that wasn't really fair that you like put all that shit out about me when I was 5 and I didn't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Say, they probably will say that.
Look at Chad. The way Chad was like, got to a point where he was like, stop fucking postage. Yeah. I agree. It's an extreme. Yeah. It's an extreme. Yeah. But still, it's like, you don't know how your kid is going to feel. Look at poor Chad.
Chad.
I mean, I think he was upset for a lot of other reasons.
No, he was.
But it's just like, you don't know how your kids are going to feel about that when they're adults and they're actually able to consent to it, right?
I mean, I agree. I just... Fine. Consent. So, wrap up. I mean, we just did. I feel like,
Just don't be Ruby Franke.
Just don't be Ruby Franke.
Sure, post your kids shit. Okay, sure. But like don't torture them about it and like
what do you mean?
Like, don't be making them try to look a certain way, try to look perfect to make you look better. Like, you're this perfect parent.
Right. Intent. So that's, okay. Yes. So reflect on your intent as a parent and why are you posting? And who sees it? Do you have control of it? Do you not? Do
you have perceived control of it or do you not? Right? Okay, continue.
Yes. Like, is it because you want a click or two, or do you need validation about your kid being cute? Like, is this a you thing or a them thing, or like I don't know. Like, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And so intent. Don't do anything like Ruby. And if you see something, say something, because that was something in the documentary. Like one of the Cherie's. When Cherie told the neighbor to do the DCFS thing, and DCFS was like, oh well. Like, have you seen any marks on them or whatever? And she said no, because she hadn't. Like, she later said, I should have lied.
Yeah.
And she fucking should have.
Yeah.
So, like, and this is...
So, lie to the authorities.
Lie to the authorities. I mean, what? I don't give a fuck.
If it's for the sake of a child.
But honestly, you can't prove it. Like, I saw a bruise. Yep, sure did. There's no bruise now. Well, bruises go away.
Bruises go away.
You just got to prepare. You got to plan the lie ahead of time.
Yeah.
But also, like, mom gut is a thing. It is. If you're going to lie, you just got to plan ahead. And, like, think of all of the possible outcomes. You just think of all the possible outcomes. Yeah. And, like, which ones are you okay with and which ones it's called decision-making skills. But mom gut is a real thing, though.
Yes,
like
100%.
Obviously, Kevin didn't have it.
No.
So,
follow your intuition.
Yeah. Like, if it feels fucking fishy, then it's
probably
fishy.
Is.
And, go through whatever lengths for those fucking kids.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Little Brain Campaign podcast.
If you enjoyed our conversation, give us a follow on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode.
Do you know someone who would be interested in this topic? Take a minute to share this episode with them.
Until next time, remember, we're all just trying our best.
See you next week.